Hi, everyone, and welcome to the interview today we're going to be doing with Billie Sinclair. My name's Odin Zavier, and it's an absolute pleasure to be here with you today. Hi, Billie. How you doing? Nice to see you.
Hey, Odin. Nice to see you too. Happy
Uh,
morning.
yeah, happy morning, for sure. We're here because I have a fascination with a company that you've fallen into called Legal Shield. And I was a Legal Shield member way back when. I have been for a long time. And Legal Shield has helped me save thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. Specifically in a couple of cases I can remember where I had some questions and they really truly helped me. And when I heard that you do Legal Shield, I was like, okay, everybody needs to know Legal Shield. Everyone needs to know Billie. And I wanted to interview you. So how in the world did you fall into your line of work?
So that's a great question, and thanks for asking it, and thanks for having me here. Appreciate you very much.
Thank you.
To make a long story short, I've been in the financial industry for my whole career. The last 17 years or so, I've been teaching financial literacy. So what does that mean? Generally, basic money management, because a lot of people just don't have the tools. And I fell into this, I like that you said that, because actually, on a somber note of family tragedy, my brother committed suicide. And of course, that was an emotional, very huge upheaval.
Yeah.
But add to that the fact that it was also going to be a legal problem, because he died without a will, which didn't seem like a problem at the time. He had no job, no property, no children. He wasn't married at the time. But what ended up happening was when I told the Canada Revenue Agency that he had passed, they asked me to do 5 years of his back taxes, and they give his estate a refund. And the refund was only $6,000, so it wasn't a lot of money. But as I went looking for legal advice, like, what do I do? Nobody could access not even 10 cents of this money. And a lawyer was very willing to help me with a $5,000 retainer, and he wanted to charge me $300 an hour. Right? So that was not going to happen. And I literally just bumped into Legal Shield. And the lady said, this could probably help you. And I took a chance on it because it's so ridiculously affordable. And like yourself, they saved me thousands of dollars. They helped walk me through this. I was willing to do the work. I just needed someone to guide me and give me advice and set me in the right direction. And so
What are the
story.
services that you provide in Legal Shield? And I do know this, but it's for the benefit of all the viewers here that are wanting to get to know you and what Legal Shield is and how they can connect with you and become involved and so on. So, what are the services they do provide?
Right. So the will piece is very small, like the wills and estates piece, super important.
Yes.
And in fact, we're coming up in April. This is the Make a Will Week in BC. So it's a big component of what I offer is encouraging and helping people to get this project started. In general, Legal Shield is just available for us in a way that we can get answers to legal questions that it just would be very expensive to get elsewhere. So I usually tell people, yeah, you probably have bumped into some legal issues, but you didn't think of them that way because calling a lawyer to ask a question would have cost you $300 or $600. So you're not going to ask a $50 kind of a resolution question and spend that much on it. We're typically, we walk away, we ignore, or we just cave because we don't have any resources. So Legal Shield is really about the access to legal advice.
Very nicely said. How about, do you want to tell us some real stories about some of the people that you've seen helped with Legal Shield?
Sure. This is a really good example just away from the wills and estates part. Someone I know wanted to rent some part-time office space, and she liked the space, she liked the ladies, she liked the price that they had quoted her, and they wanted to just send over their agreement. Well, their agreement turned out to be a 7-page document, obviously a lease, a contract written by their legal team.
Mm-hmm.
And there were things on there that she didn't remember having discussed. And instead of just doing what normally we would all have done, just sign it and say, well, how bad can it be? They're nice ladies. She realized she should send it to her Legal Shield team. And when she did, they came back with a number of clauses in that lease that could have been very problematic for her. For example, had they deemed that she did some damage when they weren't on site, she had already agreed by signing that she would take responsibility for any damage that they deemed she had made.
Well, that's pretty blanket right there.
That's pretty blanket right there.
And I mean, the verbiage of that is pretty specific. Unless you're a lawyer, you're not going to really understand what that means. Right. So basically, they can blame you for anything and charge you for that anything they blamed you for. Wow.
Exactly. And then on top of that, the next clause said that if she did not agree and they did choose to go to small claims court, she would pay their legal costs.
Oh, wow. Wow. You know, Billie, that has happened a lot in the business world. And it's really important that people remember that they need to reach out to you when all business owners. There's a lot of business owners that are going to come over to me and ask me questions. I'm going to recommend Legal Shield 100%. I recommend they come and they talk to you. And what are the best ways for them to get a hold of you, talk to you? Is it going to be Facebook? Is it going to be a YouTube page? Is it going to be an email? We want to be careful, of course, because this is public. But how can people get it? What's your business address? Right.
So it's very easy to reach me on Facebook. I am, quite open. I have lots of conversations with families and small businesses.
And actually, I've asked you a number of questions, and you've looked into it for me as well. And we are a team. We stick together, right? Exactly. It's a legal shield.
Exactly. And I'm on LinkedIn. Those are probably the best places to find me.
Do you want to spell your name so that they know what to look for?
Oh, sure. So Billie Sinclair, pretty basic, Billie. Sinclair.
And they can just do a search on LinkedIn or YouTube, and your face is there, so they should be able to recognize you. Yeah. And then you'll just help them answer any questions that they have, and get them moving on with the process. Are there any last minute tips and tricks and suggestions that you would recommend for everyone listening, other than you have to get a will? It's really important. This is the week to get a will, by the way. If you haven't thought about it, it doesn't mean that when you write a will that you're going to die soon or something like that. It just means that when you do turn 120 years old, that you've already thought about it, or you've updated it, and you've actually, we don't know what's going to happen. We want you to live a long time, but we also want you to realize that serious emotional issues happen if something accidental does occur. And we put our family members not only in an emotional grieving situation about a loss, but what we also do is we put them into a legal situation like what you had experienced, which is actually kind of sad. In my situation, I had a business associate that was being unreasonable. And Watson Gopel came in and showed me exactly where in the agreement that I was able to argue. And as a matter of fact, I won $21,000 in that case, and I also saved $21,000. My countersuit is what won. And I just want to say that I let that go. Sometimes there's certain things you just want to say, I'm not interested, I'm moving on, let karma take its course, kind of thing. So maybe that's not for you, but Watson Gopel did actually suggest all the right things for me in order to save a lot of money. That's my story. That's how come I love them. Oh, that's Legal Shield, by the way.
Well, I would just like to finish up with what you just brought up there. So Watson Gopel is a full-service law firm. They've been the BC Legal Shield provider law firm for 18, 19 years since we started here. So some people might be thinking, $26 a month, what kind of legal help can I get for that? Great legal help, full service legal help. It's just an industry disruptor. You've never thought of legal like this before. Nobody else does it like this, and we're unique, and we're definitely disrupting the industry.
Every time I call in, I always get great advice. They're very respectful about conflict of interests. As a matter of fact, it's kind of like a family. So that's how come I'm really excited to introduce you and this to everyone who may not have heard about it before. It's awesome business. It's awesome business. With that, do you have a piece of wisdom, a parting piece of wisdom that you can give all the listeners here today? and the watchers?
A parting piece of wisdom. Yes.
I caught you off guard on that one.
You did. You did. I would say utilize the resources of your community. Like a lot of people don't like to reach out. They get private about these kind
Ask
of
for
things.
help is what you're saying.
Go in, and I say yes. Ask for help. Had I not asked for help, had I not put this out there to my community, I wouldn't have found out about it. So definitely, obviously put it out to people that you feel that you can trust when you get into details, but reach out.
Billie, Sinclair, thank you so much for being with us today. This is the Get to Know You interview series. My name is Odin Zavier. Pleasure to meet you all. And I look forward to interviewing you. You got a cool business or something you want to share with us? Reach out to us. In the meantime, like us on Facebook, like us on YouTube, like us on LinkedIn, make some comments, and we look forward to working with you and helping you when you ask for help. Remember, get your will done this week, right, Billie?
That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Talk to you guys soon.